out of that sort of, that black and white thinking around, oh, well, I'm on a diet or I'm off a diet. It's about, bringing, nourishing yourself and bringing in a more mindful approach to eating overall, so that you're actually getting joy from your food and actually listening to what your body needs and wants as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like once you figure that out, you never have to diet again.
Yes, definitely not. It's definitely, I try and work on a non-diet approach, and being kind to yourself as well is very important part of the picture.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Eat Play Fit show, and I am your host Sharpanissa Kadri. Today I am speaking to Marcell Rose. Marcelle specialises in helping women beat binge eating and bulimia and overcome emotional eating and yo-yo dieting so they can make peace with their bodies and heal their relationship with food. For many women, this is a transformational experience, so they are able to live their life to the fullest. Marcelle is a BANT registered nutritionist and health coach and a master practitioner of eating disorders and obesity from the National Center for Eating Disorders. She works with her clients in both a one-on-one capacity and also runs specialized group coaching programs. Marcelle also lectures and trains students in health coaching at the College for Naturopathic Medicine. I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. Welcome again.
Hi Marcelle, welcome to the Eat Play Fit show. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks very much for having me on. I'm very good.
So maybe we can begin with tell us your story. What do you do? Why do you do what you do?
Yeah, of course. So I am a registered nutritionist and a health coach, but I specialise in working with people who struggle with eating disorders and emotional eating, binge eating, and those who have sort of an unhealthy relationship with food, chronic yo-yo dieters. So particularly, especially women, and especially women who are kind of stressed out, busy, juggling life, and they've just been battling with, these challenges for a long time. So, so I have also specialist training in eating disorders. So work specifically more with binge eaters or people who are struggling with bulimia particularly as well.
Wow, that is very interesting. And I can totally understand binge eating. Like everybody's so stressed out. And then everybody wants to be healthy. And especially we are in the summer season, everybody wants that perfect summer ready body. And then they do go on that yo-yo dieting pattern. There's holidays, and then there's the whole stress that causes them to stress eat, right? And
yeah. So there is a lot of that sort of cycle of definitely kind of coming off, going on the next diet, and then coming off, and that sort of all or nothing mindset. So, well, I might as well, just because I've sort of broken my diet, so I might as well just carry on with it. And then they end up feeling a lot worse about themselves, and it is a downward spiral because it's the mindset that is so key in this. It keeps them going.
Yeah, when I was experimenting with the diet myself, I know there was one I was doing where you take a cheat day on Sunday, and some of my cheat days used to turn into cheat weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's something that I would sort of definitely try and work. I do try and work on with people around trying to get out of that sort of, that black and white thinking around, oh, well, I'm on a diet or I'm off a diet. It's about, bringing, nourishing yourself and bringing in a more mindful approach to eating overall, so that you're actually getting joy from your food and actually listening to what your body needs and wants as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like once you figure that out, you never have to diet again.
Yes, definitely not. It's definitely, I try and work on a non-diet approach, and being kind to yourself as well is very important part of the picture.
So, what are your top 3 habits for a healthy, balanced life?
Well, as I mentioned, about your thoughts and the way that you talk to yourself can be so key. And I think people sometimes find that quite surprising, that as a nutritionist, first, that's kind of quite top of my list. But actually stopping and pausing and listening to the way that you talk to yourself, or those automatic thoughts that come up around food and eating and dieting and weight and your body shape, it can be a really sort of important way to help move yourself along in this way. Whether you're a sort of chronic dieter, or obviously if you have an eating disorder, there's a lot of work to be done. But even if you consider yourself, somewhere along the spectrum of perhaps a disordered eater, which is, if you think about eating disorders at one end of the spectrum and normal, if we call them normal eaters at the other, there's so many people along that spectrum that struggle with their thoughts around food and the thoughts around themselves. And I think to some extent we all talk to ourselves not very nicely, but I think with some people it becomes really quite harmful. And so I think it's important to notice, not judge ourselves, and become a bit curious around, I've noticed that I keep saying that to myself, but actually what could I say that could be more helpful to myself, rather than just constantly berating yourself. So that would be one of mine. That was quite a long explanation, but I think my second healthy habit would be to focus on the mindful eating. And there are a number of reasons for this. I think, and first of all, what is mindful eating? In a snapshot, it's really like being mindful in anything that you do. It's just noticing and observing and connecting without any judgmental thoughts coming. So if you're sitting down for a meal, it is about sitting down and being in a relaxed state and taking some deep breaths maybe before you eat. So because often we're always in front of the computer or the TV or on our phones, and so we're not actually conscious of what we're doing, really. Taking,
everybody eats in front of TV these days. That is such a lifestyle change that has happened, right?
Yeah, and it makes us so disconnected. So, but by sitting and listening and slowing down, you're not only allowing your digestive system to work really well, to be able to absorb your nutrients, and to be able to work well, so that you're not actually experiencing things like bloating that so many people experience, and this digestive distress, which seems to come very much hand in hand with mindless eating as well. So you're allowing your digestive system to work. You'll also be absorbing more of the nutrients that you're putting in, because I think a lot of people are quite stressed about what they're eating. Am I eating enough of the right stuff? They're so busy being stressed that actually they're probably not absorbing half of, enough of the nutrients that they're actually eating, because they're so stressed, and their digestive system is basically being switched off, because they're in that sympathetic nervous system, which is your stress response nervous system. So I would say the other reason for the mindful eating is, of course, to bring back and think about, actually, am I still hungry? Am I feeling satiated? Do I need more? Or, have I had enough? Do I need to finish everything that's on my plate, really? And so there's a lot of, it's a big area. So I would say that was my number 2.
No, you're so right. Even as I remember for myself too, I grew up in a family where we always finished our food. So we would never left food on the plate. And then when I had kids, I was not only finishing my food, I was finishing their food too. So that
Yeah.
wasn't helping at all. And then I had to learn that, okay, I don't want to throw food. I can still put it in a small lunchbox and put it in the fridge, because I do not want to insult food, throw food away. And it just makes me feel bad, because really, like, it's food, it's valuable. So I learned starting to put it away in a small
Mm.
box so I can reheat and eat it later. But yeah, like, it was a very difficult habit to unlearn.
Yeah, yeah. And I think to some extent we are kind of all have that ingrained in us that we don't want to waste food, or we've been told to finish everything on our plate. Um, but I think when you start to listen to your body signals and start to realize, then you can really adapt the portions that you give yourself as well. And if you need more, you get more. And then you feel like you're not wasting, and you can, as you say, you can keep your leftovers, which is always useful for the next day to save
Yeah,
on time.
you don't have to cook, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You had a third one.
Oh, yes. So I would say probably my third one, I was like, I'm weighing up between nourishing movement and exercise and sleep. I mean, sleep is obviously essential for everything, and nourishing exercise. I say nourishing because I don't. I think so many of my clients, part of what their condition is having that the thoughts around having to do punishing exercise, having to push themselves to the extreme,
Kill
where
yourself
it
in
does.
the gym, die lifting weights. I know those.
Yeah, yeah. So it's exercise and movement. It doesn't have to be, going to the gym necessarily. It's just movement, a kind of movement that you enjoy, because then I think you're much more likely to be able to continue doing it, and it becomes part of your daily life without it being a chore and something your body finds too stressful as well, because you don't want to create extra stress on your body, but you want to be able to move it in a way that's helpful to it. So I would probably say that, and then also sneak in, working on sleep, because that's so key to everything, isn't it? It's like the overall picture.
Yes. What are some of the things you do to get better sleep? Because I know sleep is such an important part, and a lot of people sleep late because they have TV running, or they're on their social media scrolling, and before they know it, it's already past midnight.
Yes,
Some of
yeah.
ways to incorporate good sleep, because really, if your body is well rested, it will not look for comfort in food, for example.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we know that if you have poor sleep, it affects our hunger hormones. So you're much more likely to feel more hungry. You're much more likely to go for the less helpful foods, the sort of sugary, kind of refined type foods, that are probably less helpful. And so sleep essential for that. Also sleep essential for feeling like you've got the energy to be able to do your exercise and your movement and feel good and everything else. But I think, yeah, I'd say probably one of the major things that comes up with my clients is getting the phones out of their room at night, which sounds quite simple, but you'd be amazed how many people find themselves, as you say, it's so easy to get drawn into the scrolling, and then you've got this sort of blue light, which is stimulating, affecting your melatonin, and affecting your kind of sleep cycle in that way. So I'd say try and buy an alarm clock rather than using your phone as an alarm. Perhaps working on trying to get out some daylight into your eyes in the morning. So getting out for a morning walk or something can help with that. And then dimming the lights at the end of the day, and an hour before bed, and avoiding screens then can really help to reset your circadian rhythm, particularly. And also, having a really lovely nourishing meal that avoiding sort of sugar too late at night. Ideally, you don't really want to have too heavy a meal too late at night, but also eating enough, because that's also a problem when people find themselves not eating enough and they're actually hungry. Their blood sugar's dipping in the night while they're asleep as well.
It's so important, because I remember sometimes when I was working late at night, I would always suddenly like crave a snack. But lucky for me, my snack usually used to be like some nuts, something like fatty, and something that I can eat in small quantity and that can trick my brain into feeling full. So that helped. But I can imagine, like, if I was eating ice cream, cookies, or cake at midnight, then like there wouldn't be no sleep for next 3 hours because I wouldn't be on that sugar high.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, definitely sleep is sort of the cornerstone of everything, really.
I have heard about the blue light, and like dimming the lights at night. Do you have some suggestions? Do you use, there are blue light blocker glasses? Do you use them? How
Yes,
effective are they?
yes, yeah. I think they're certainly worth a try. I actually don't have a pair. I think because I do try and switch off,
Yeah.
certainly from my phone at a certain time. I try. But it's something that I thought, I should get. Certainly for my teenage daughters, I think that would be a good thing, because it's something I'm always on at them about. It's like, don't be on your phone late at night. So yeah, I think it's definitely a good option. If you find you'll have to work late, for example, and you have to be on the computer, it will help.
Yeah, so on my phone too, I haven't used them, but I'm going to give them a try. On my phone too, I have a bedtime set up. So I think it starts a wind down at 8:30, and it will not send me any notifications for messages or calls. Except from, if I've added the numbers, that if these numbers call, then
Yeah,
or
that's good.
yeah. And my next question is, what is your advice for the listeners who are, so busy during their day jobs that there is like no time for mindfulness or incorporating wellness and self-care in their everyday life? Like, I know it is easy for you and I to say, be mindful, but they are like, even at work, people are eating in front of their computers while responding to emails, right? What are some ideas that they can practically use to slow down during their busy work days, or even if not at work? Like, moms are so busy, right? Because there is something with one kid going on, another one is sick. There is an event that they are planning. So how can they slow down and incorporate some mindfulness and balance?
Yeah. No, it's true, because it's easier said than done, isn't it? Everyone at the moment has such busy lives. So how, this is a question I get asked all the time. How on earth am I going to fit it in? But one of the things that I do with my clients, actually, with some of my clients, is I have almost like a planner, a week planner. And it's by the hour. It's broken down by the hour, from 7 in the morning right through to the night, right the way through. So you've got hour Monday by the hour, Tuesday, all the way through. And then I get them to first block out their time of things that absolutely are kind of the non-negotiables, like the time that they have to take kids to school, the time that they're in work, the time that they have to do certain things, and then to almost like color block them out and look at the overall picture of that, and then see where they can find some pockets of time. Because what I find that once I do the coaching with them and we start to work through that, I go, actually,
I do have more free time than I thought.
Yeah, I'm wasting time scrolling through my phone or sitting there doing that. Do you know what I mean? So it helps them to find those pockets of time when you can, and then you can sort of add something into that, add a little bit of structure, make it realistic though. Don't try and add in like, you know, if it depends on the person, obviously it's completely different, but you know, if it might be that they just start adding in a walk in the morning, but twice a week for a certain amount of time, because once they've been able to achieve that and they've actually got the benefit of it and enjoyed it and felt good about it, then if they want to increase, they can. But rather than trying to start with too much, I think it's about starting small, taking small steps, and sort of even scheduling something in so that where they know they've got the time to do it, and then it's in there. So that can really help, I find.
Or two, you were talking about exercising. What are your thoughts on walking? Because I think people have forgotten about walking, because the moment you say you need to move a little more, they're like, okay, I need a trainer to make me accountable and literally punish me if I'm doing it wrong. I go to the gym, and then they go take these gym memberships that they never use, or probably
Yes.
like for the first week, and then it just is on auto payment or whatever, and then they never use it. So what are your thoughts on walking for exercise?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important. It's like an important foundation. It's and particularly if you enjoy it, you know, it's something that is, if you can get out in green space, then you're getting more benefit than just the exercise. You're getting the mental health benefit of it as well, connecting with nature. I mean, I personally love it. I have a dog now, so that's made me go out. And during the pandemic, that was like a lifesaver, just getting me out, no matter what the weather. If it's raining, I had to walk the dog, so it made me get out. So I'd say get a dog, but no, not necessarily. But, you know, I think getting out and doing that if you can. I understand that not everybody lives near green spaces, so it's not so easy. But trying to just get out, even if it's at the weekend, if they're not working, and going somewhere a bit further where they get that green space, then it is beneficial. And you know, you can stroll, or you can do a really kind of rigorous walk to get that up, and then build on that, what other kind of things do you enjoy doing for movement? For some people it's dancing or Zumba or Pilates. It could be anything, martial arts. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, being at the gym, as I said, doing that punishing. And as you said, yeah.
Daughter hears this, she's 5 and she loves animals, and she has been on my case that she wants a dog. And
yeah,
I am raising 2 kids. I don't want to raise a dog, and I know you all want it, but you're not going to take care of it, and then it will be my responsibility. So that's why I'm not getting it. But she would be like, "Mom, your friend said get a dog."
Yes, I have to say I wasn't up for it before I got the dog, but you know, as I said, she's been great. She gets me out there in the fresh air every day.
They're great in so many ways because they connect like unlike anything else, right? They protect you. I mean, that it is a whole different kind of relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, one of the things I encounter with people is they think that living healthy is so complicated, nutrition is so complicated. They have to always go on this diet and meal prep and go to gym 5 days a week. And then I think because of that, they procrastinate. Or maybe they just have the fear of, okay, I cannot do it. It is way too complex. I'm just going to let it be. What is your advice for people who think that this is also complicated?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated. I think it's about going back to basics and just trying. First of all, if you're eating real food, then that's the simplest form. You don't have to do. Well, I would advise not doing fancy faddy diets or any kind of diets. It's about just eating real, nutritious, balanced food where possible, but obviously it's not always possible. And if you don't, sometimes that's okay as well, because the stress involved in that whole kind of conversations that you're having around yourself and everything, as I said earlier, is not good for your body either. So that's not healthy. Healthy mind and healthy body is so key. So I would say really just going back to the basics, and where possible, getting as much variety into your diet as possible, in terms of all the colours, different colours of fruit and vegetables, different types of, you can try different types of whole grains, and so that you're getting that variety of fibre that your gut will thank you for. All your healthy gut bacteria like to feed off all the different bacteria feed off lots of different fibre. So the more variety you get in, then that's helping your gut. And if you help your gut, you're strengthening your immune system and, helping your digestive system work well, and lots of other things. So I would say it's really doesn't have to be complicated. I do know that lots of people, though, have that there's a lot of anxiety around food and what I should be eating, how much should I be eating, what diet should I be doing, should I be keto, should I be 5-2, should I be low carb, low fat, it's just there's a lot of people who are literally, their thoughts.
Whatever is on the news that week, or whatever is Adele doing that day, I mean, it is just...
Yeah, and actually what I would say is you as an individual are the expert of your body. And if you learn to tune into it, you will know what your body needs, rather than worrying about, what some diet guru is telling you, or the next diet is saying, or this many calories that you should be having, because everybody's different. So to listen to that, try and sort of block out all of that noise and just focus on, okay, what is my body needing? Can I go back to getting real food in where I can, and enjoying your food as well. It's really important to get joy from your food and not think it's all about, it all has to be a certain way.
Yeah, no, and I think I agree, and because I geek out about this kind of stuff, I have tried everything, I have tried keto, I've tried intermittent fasting, I've tried 5-2, I've tried slow carb, low carb, paleo.
Yeah.
I have tried it, and I know all of them work. The only problem is they're all not sustainable. You can't be keto all your life, because there is so many fruits and vegetables that you miss out on, and whole grains that you miss out on, right? So I think you can do them all, but there is a reason why they're not sustainable, because your body is missing the nutrition of other kinds of food. And I know it is very, very controversial to say right now that you can eat anything and enjoy it, and also be healthy, because somebody has to promote their keto products, right? So,
absolutely. That's the problem. Yeah. And as you say, it works until it doesn't. Mm-hmm. And then people blame themselves when they feel they failed. And actually, for most people, they don't work in the long term. I mean, we know that the studies from between 1 and 5 years, that's when they see, if any of the studies are done for that length of time, because they tend to not be any longer than that, that's when you know that actually they haven't really worked. They've worked for a time, but then you've gained the weight and possibly more again. Because there's so many different mechanisms, obviously, for that, that to occur. So, so it's setting people up to fail and to feel like failures, and then you're in that sort of vicious cycle of feeling bad about yourself again.
No, this is so important, and I think we are all conditioned to, and not just in terms of diet, in terms of anything else too. If we failed at something, we are failures, right? Instead of looking at it, can I think about maybe is the diet itself, like the whole industry is wrong, and I'm looking at wrong ways of doing it. I'm following wrong ways of doing it. So maybe I am not the failure. It's just this whole process that was taught to me.
Yes.
Which was wrong, right? So instead of blaming the process, blaming the diet, the first thing that comes to us is, okay, we're going to blame ourselves because we cannot do it. We just, maybe everybody
Yes.
else can do it except except me, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And
I
then
mean,
we don't even celebrate our wins. Maybe you did eat right that day. So instead of celebrating that and giving yourself kudos for that, you just, oh, I am 20 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight. I just cannot do it. I'm such a failure. That's the constant talk in our heads.
yeah, no, absolutely. That's the problem. It's just constant, and celebrating the wins is so important. It really is, and that helps you build on your confidence and encourages you and motivates you as well to do that. I mean, one of the things that because so many people are, I've known so many people have that sort of confusion, is one of the reasons why I've started to create like a short program, because usually I work with people like mainly one-to-one, but I do have an intensive long coaching program as well, group program. But I've started to put together and put the feelers out for people. I want to hear from people actually what their biggest challenges around the anxiety over food, and to just do a short program to almost get them that first step off that fear factor of leaving the dieting, and even before they get to the get properly into mindful eating and that whole area. It's almost like some people seem to need that real support, that foundation first. So that's something that I've noticed that from what people have said to me quite a lot. And that's something they really struggle with, almost that first step in their journey is really hard.
Like, what? You're going to take me out of my diet? You can't do that.
Yes, yeah. So I that's something I'm really kind of passionate about getting together, because I think that will help a lot of people.
Absolutely. This was such a delightful conversation. My last question, or two more questions. What is, just if the listeners have to do just one thing today to get healthier, just one thing, what would that be? What would be your topmost?
Oh, one thing to get healthy. I would say literally keep it really simple and say just there isn't a specific thing because it's very individual, but what would their one first step be that they can take? So setting themselves one achievable goal that they can add into their life. So I wouldn't want to say it's the same for everyone, because I think it's different. But it's about thinking, okay, what can I do that's actually achievable, that I can fit into my schedule, that I will feel good about myself afterwards. And start slow, and don't feel like you have to climb the mountain all at once. It's just a small step. I would say that's probably what I would say, because there's so many things you can do.
Yeah, feel good. That's
I mean, for some people, gym, they love the gym and they might love a workout or doing a particular class. And if that's for them, then that's for them. But everyone is so different. So don't beat yourself up if that's not you. Yeah. Find something that works for you.
Yeah. So Marcelle, where can people find you? And I will add this to the show notes, but it would be nice if you tell us.
Yeah, of course. So you can find me. I am on Instagram at Marcell Rose Nutrition. Also on Facebook at Marcell Rose Nutrition on Facebook, my page. If you are struggling with your relationship with food and your body, I do have a Facebook group called the Food Freedom Collective on there, which is a supportive group to and community to really support women in that process as well. I would say, and my website as well is Marcelle, www.marcellrosenutrition.co.uk.
Yeah, that is Awesome. Thank you so much for talking to me. This was a very valuable conversation, which even I am going to revisit again because I learned so much. Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure. And also just to say, I do have an ebook that people can, a guide all about how to conquer your cravings, because that is such a thing that troubles people. So it's a 12-page guide that they can also receive if that's okay as well.
I'm going to add it to the show notes, and I'm probably going to download it myself.
Fab, that's great. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. It was wonderful talking to you today. Have a good evening.
Thank you, and you. Take care.
Thank you for listening, and if you would like more of no-nonsense content on health, wellness and weight loss, make sure you like this video and subscribe, as well as check out the show notes for links to our websites and social media. Have fun and stay awesome. Bye.